All right, hello there, welcome back to another wee bit different video. Today's video, we are going to be talking about United States versus Brazil. We're going to be recapping the box score and just talk about our initial reactions of the men's quarterfinal for the 2024 Olympics. Personally, I didn't think this game would be too close just because USA has been looking more and more comfortable. But when the game started, immediately you could tell USA kind of just came out with an agenda of being a lot more locked in. And honestly, defensively, I know we're talking about the game in itself and not the box score yet, but defensively, they were so freaking locked in. And it was really impressive. But anyway, let's talk about some player performances. LeBron James with 12 points, 4 turnovers, but 9 assists and 3 steals. To be honest with you, LeBron James was absolutely stellar with the playmaking, looking and finding and absolutely being the floor general that Team USA needs him to be, and he was that. Joel Embiid with a really good outing himself, 14 points, 3 for 3 from 3, also adding 7 rebounds. And to be honest, his 9 points from 3 were gimmies. I mean, you guys have to remember that the 3-point line is not as far away as it is in the NBA. So Joel Embiid kind of just laced it up, shot it every time, and it looked clean. It looked really clean, and Brazil was giving that to him because when you're playing a team like United States and they have the players that they have, you don't want to give up anything in the interior because what are you looking at? Looking at LeBron James, Joel Embiid, Devin Booker, Steph Curry. Jrue Holiday's the only one who isn't one of those fearless finishers. But if we're being honest, Jrue Holiday is still a beast. So they were willing to give Joel Embiid that open 3 more than any other look, and it did not work out for them. Devin Booker was absolutely sharp. Didn't play at all in the second quarter because JT got those minutes in, but Devin Booker was super sharp. This dude is an absolute beast, and Steve Kerr mentioned it. His ability to adapt is off the charts. 5 for 7 from 3, 3 assists, 18 points, but his defense has been so pure. Devin Booker is just one of those guys who's so capable of going off, but he's definitely been sacrificing some more offensive looks just to give the team what they need. But today in particular, once that second half hit and the game kind of grew and got out of Brazil's reach, that's when everything was just firing. LeBron James was out, Embiid was out, so Book was cooking, KD was cooking, JT was cooking, AE was cooking. Whole lot of just buckets from the mid-range and then the threes. It was really pure, but all in all, Devin Booker has been so crucial, and he will be crucial moving forward when they play Serbia, just because he is an X-Factor kind of player. You know what you're getting from LeBron James. You're going to get playmaking, and you're going to get your 10 to 15 points or 8 to 16 points. Embiid is also considered an X-Factor for sure, but D-Book has been so important to gluing this team together just because he's been so good from the defensive end, and he's been a knockdown shooter that he really is an X-Factor kind of player. Jrue Holiday, you know what you're getting from him. You know that you're going to be getting non-stop on-ball defense, and he's going to be smothering defenders. You got a solid offensive output if the looks are there, but all in all, Jrue Holiday is there for his smothering defense. And Steph, while he hasn't had that Steph Curry-like game, it will happen, whether it's against Serbia or maybe in the finals, but Steph Curry has not had a memorable tournament thus far. At the very least, though, you can't talk about his playmaking. I know you see 0 assists, but I'd be curious to see his pass to assist numbers and how willing he's been, especially today. Looking like he's going to shoot the ball, but that last second kind of pass to the open man, and it helps facilitate buckets for Team USA. Steph also draws in a ton of attention because teams are very wary of him. So I know the box score says 0 on assists, but if we're being honest, he's helped facilitate plenty of buckets for this Team USA. Going down to the bench, JT, not a promising offensive outing. One of his buckets, though, was from an alley-oop from Braun. Perfect pass, perfect catch from JT and dunk. All in all, just great awareness. But he's been really struggling on the offensive end this tournament. What I will say, though, is defensively, he was very locked in today. There was a moment in the game where he almost got crossed up and he was kind of sliding a little bit, but he gathered himself, got back up on his defender, and was playing some really solid defense. So JT, even though you see 5 points, it doesn't really do him justice to see how much he's giving on the defensive end, which is a lot. And to be honest, that's a lot of this team. This team in general has been absolutely smothering. Brazil's biggest problem is that once they got into half court set, they really couldn't do anything. The only thing that they really had going for themselves was transition basketball, kind of moving at a faster pace. If they can grab a rebound and go, grab a rebound and go. But if Team USA made a bucket and that forced Brazil into half court set, they were really not able to get much going. And JT being definitely a significant part of that defense. Team USA did not need KD too much on this one. He did have 11 points, and he has become the all-time leading scorer for basketball of both men's and women's. So congrats to KD, but they didn't need him too much on this one just because offense was not a problem. You know, in that second quarter, they got stagnant a little bit, and they definitely weren't really doing what they should have been able to do. But soon thereafter, they went on a 15-0 run, playing fast-paced basketball, spreading the ball, doing all kinds of glorious things. And Bam Adebayo with a lot of hustle. You see 7 rebounds, you see an assist, you see a steal. You don't see a block, but he was mauling on the defensive end, absolutely getting in everything in the paint. And you love to see it, especially from that backcourt duo, or I should say front court duo of Bam Adebayo and AD. It's honestly just a cheat code to have them play at the same time. And that's what Steve Kerr has been doing, because they've had each other's backs and they're putting way more pressure on the opposing offense to shoot from the perimeter. And that's how Brazil scored a lot of their points, was trying to just force shots from the perimeter. I'm actually curious to see the 3-point ratio. They were 12 for 37. They shot 37 shots from the perimeter. And again, they had 12 made threes. So I really am not lying. 37 total threes out of 77 shots. That's almost 50% of their shots taken being threes. No surprise there, because again, you get a guy like Bam and AD, you're going to force a lot of 3-point looks on the opposing team, just because nobody wants to even get near the post, get near the paint. It's a really difficult thing for any team to get their hands on. Although it will be interesting. It'll be very interesting to see how Serbia deals with it, just because they have Jokic, and Jokic is able to get in there. Now, obviously, Team USA is going to have Embiid, Bam, and AD kind of swarm him at different points throughout the game. But I'm very curious to see how that's going to go down. Nevertheless, Anthony Edwards, 6 for 10, did most of his damage in the second half once the game was definitely out of reach. But goes to show just how good he is at scoring. Tyrese Halliburton got some looks, again, in that second half when the game was out of reach. Derek White, you know, you see 2 for 6, you see 1 for 4. But one thing I really want to highlight is, even though he only has 1 block, he was all over the place defensively. A player's going up isolated. Nope, Derek White's going to be there to get a hand in. He's going to go get that rebound and try to get that putback just like he did today. He's going to do the little things that go a long way. And the little things are important. Derek White just brings that to the table. You know, the difference between a really good team and a really bad team, all in all, yeah, you can look at, star players. But ultimately, it's when the star players are on that they have to play at a high level and give everything they have, and to go after the loose balls and to go for the rebounds and to close out, put your hands in the jar and try to get cookies. You know what I mean? By that, I mean steals. You know, Derek White's always fiending for that kind of stuff, and he's always putting himself in position to make the defense or the opposing offense a little more uncomfortable, which is really impressive all the way through. Shout out to Brazil, though. They really did battle. I mean, I know you see 87 to 122, but they really did battle. Moving on to Serbia, though, that's obviously what Team USA is focused on next. They're going to enjoy today, but they're very much going to focus on it. The X factor is going to be guys like Joel Embiid, guys like Steph Curry, because Joel Embiid really struggled against Serbia that first game, and Steph Curry has struggled all tournament. And then you go into the bench. JT, if he gets run, he's going to need to do better offensively. He's bringing it defensively, but he's going to need to bring it offensively. KD is just going to get buckets. Bam is going to get his hustle. AD, same thing, right? AE, you want to see more consistency in terms of when the game's close, right? Because, again, a lot of this was in the second half, and in that first half, he didn't really have a lot of looks, and he was like 0 for 3, I want to say, or 0 for 2. it's kind of hard to get into rhythm, obviously, when everyone needs to touch the ball. But hopefully, the hope is in that Serbia game, he can come out bringing the boom, hitting those first 2 shots, because it's going to be about building on that lead and then relying on your smothering defense against Serbia. That's what it's really, really, really going to take. All in all, though, really, really impressive showing from Team USA. They're undefeated in all of their matches, whether it's exhibition or group stage or obviously knockout stage, just being the first one. But like I said, Brazil, they really, put their heart out there. So shout out to them. Definitely made it more entertaining because they had to make Team USA work more. And they were working for their buckets. Sometimes when the offense was stagnant, you could tell that Team USA had to hit another gear and just say, okay, we're going to spread the ball around. We're going to force these guys to move around and make them have perfect defensive rotations, which they did not. Also, sometimes they had just great isolation buckets, basically where they're like, you know what? There's nothing you can do. I'm just better than you. Braun had a bucket like that. KD had buckets like that. AE in the second half had buckets like that. Just an impressive outing nonetheless. Let me know what you guys think about this performance. As always, I greatly appreciate you guys for watching. Looking forward to the next one. This is I'll Even Different. We've been different. And we out.